I think there is no doubt it is going to be very difficult for Cressida Dick in the next week in particular, when two police officers who should have been guarding the murder scene were instead later arrested, having apparently and allegedly taken selfies of themselves next to the bodies. They've been charged with misconduct in public office and are appearing at the Old Bailey next Tuesday. Now, Mina Smallman, the mother of the two murdered sisters, was in court today, spoke outside court. You've got to feel for her. She had to come to terms with this most horrific of crimes. How on earth can you ever really come to terms knowing the full depravity of this individual, Danyal Hussein? But of course, she's also had to absorb that news of what could well be, if they plead guilty, as they are expected to do, a betrayal by those officers who were supposed to guard and look after those two young girls as they lay dead in that field in northwest London. Add to that, of course, the criticism there was over the initial police response. The Independent Office for Police Conduct criticised Scotland Yard for a lacklustre, slow response that was below the acceptable level. The Met Commissioner tried to apologise to Mina Smallman, but she didn't want to accept that apology when it was offered a couple of days back. And I think, she is saving our sort of powder, if you like, keeping her powder dry for Tuesday. And if these officers plead guilty, there is no doubt that she will be very critical. She didn't want to be too critical of the Metropolitan Police as a whole today, because she wanted to praise in particular the actions of the murder investigation team, who she said had gone above and beyond to try to bring the killer of her daughters to justice. But she will have much harsher words about the Metropolitan Police and the way that it is run after the hearing on Tuesday of next week.
Mark, just a thought before you go, and I suppose it's the case for the defence, if you like, for Cressida Dick, that here is somebody who has been in charge of a force that, like other forces in the UK, has seen budgets cut, number of police officers reduced, experienced officers leaving as well, and lots of new officers, often inexperienced, coming in. And actually, a police force, like many institutions, which to a degree reflects the nature of society at large, and to blame one individual for its manifold failings as well as its successes, it will strike some people as unfair.
I think there are plenty of people, especially within the Metropolitan Police, who will agree completely with the premise that you put to me. She is very popular amongst many officers within the Metropolitan Police Service. They feel that she does really have their backs, and that actually the behaviour of a reprehensible few is something that she can't really control at the end of the day. However, she is the boss, the ultimate figurehead of that force, and when there are constant failings that come to light, and we have seen it, of course, with Sarah Everard, the fallout over the murder of Sarah Everard by one of her own officers. There are other active cases that we can't go into a great deal of detail about at the moment, of other officers who have been charged with rape and are going through the court process. It is a difficult time for Cressida Dick, but it is a difficult job. It is, without a doubt, the most political of police chief postings in the whole of the country, because you are dealing with a huge degree of politics in that post as well. You're dealing, of course, on one hand with the Home Secretary, who's your boss, with one set of priorities, and a London Mayor, on the other hand, with who's also your boss, with a often completely different set of priorities. Lots of politics in this job, a big force of more than 30,000 individuals there. And, there are some individuals who are absolutely bad eggs. And that reflects badly on the person, of course, who is in ultimate charge, even if she had nothing to do with the crime itself.